You're listening to Living Full Out with Nancy Solari. As a life coach, Nancy can teach you how to stay strong under pressure and work through challenges you face. Being legally blind, Nancy inspires others to be resilient in overcoming obstacles and live full out. You can ask Nancy for advice in your life on relationships, finance, business, health, and more. Just call in at 800-333-0001. Once again, that's 800-333-0001. Now, here's Nancy.
Thank you for joining us today. I'm Nancy Solari, and this is the Living Full Out Show. And today we're going to be talking about believing. So many times in our life, we have to believe in ourselves that we can be and do whatever we put our minds to. We have to believe that if we're struggling with a health condition, that we will find a solution, we will find a cure or a way to ease our pain. We have to believe that life will take care of us, that, well, the ups and downs may roll on and keep coming our way, that we're stronger. Our mindset, our heart, the core of us, we have to believe that we can live full out each day. And so with that, idea in mind, I want everybody to think about, what are they dealing with? What are you struggling with in your life right now where you might need to up your belief factor? How can we make that stronger? How can we put you in a mindset where you don't doubt yourself? You're not worried. You're not anxious. You believe. You just know it's going to work out. And we all know those people who have that charisma. Well, so can you. Belief is something that's already inside you. Sometimes you just have to turn it up. You have to put that fire and, light it up within you and let yourself know that you're worth it, that you can do it. And so we're going to be taking your calls. Again, that number is 800-333-0001. Also, stay with us because in our next segment, we'll be joined by our inspirational guest, Tom Martin, who has survived cancer 3 times. And his story is just touching. It just, to me, brings cancer to a place where it's positive, where you can overcome it. And he had to really tap into his belief that it would not take over his life, that he would get through the fire, that he would get through the pain and the struggles and the long days and the chemo and so forth. And he did. So stay tuned for that story. And again, if you want to hear today's show or any of our shows, go to livingfullout.com. We have them all there for you, and we want you to stay empowered every day. That's part of what Living Full Out's about. Trust me, when I'm not with you guys, I am listening to motivational songs, podcasts, you name it. And that's why we do the show, to keep you excited, to keep you focused. So I'm getting a word from our producer that we do have a caller on the line. We're going to go say hello to them. Hi, welcome to the Living Full Out Show.
Hi.
Hi, thank you for calling in. How can we help you?
My name is Patrick, and I was just hoping maybe you might be able to give me some advice. I'm having kind of some issues with a fairly new hire of a manager in the last couple of years, and he likes to micromanage everything that we've done at our shop. I'm a field technician out in the field. I'm all over the U.S., but it seems like when we're in the shop and we have to deal with this guy, it's just really hard, and not too many people can get along with him.
And so there's a lot of camaraderie amongst everybody else feeling the same way, huh?
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Oh, yes.
Okay. Now, who is his boss? Have you talked to that person?
Yeah, we've tried to talk to his boss as well as the HR department. We're a non-union shop, so they pretty much like to side with the local manager. We are a satellite office, and they don't want to really be too involved with what goes on there.
So here's the thing, and I think your call is great because there are conflicts in the office place, right? And it's like, how do you manage that? Remember that all you can control is your behavior, your mind, your thoughts. This supervisor, how he is going to act, how he's going to conduct himself in a leadership role, you can't control that. But you can be suggestive, and you can be the one to be the strength for the morale of the office. Now, I know that's a lot to put on your shoulders, and you're looking for more of an answer. The problem is, unless that supervisor ends up leaving his position, the best you can do is in a motivational way, continue to work on him. And I say this all the time on the show, that you want to figure out what is his best communication style. Is it face-to-face? Is it by phone? Is it by email? Or even good old-fashioned letter? Not a love letter. I'm not saying that kind of letter. I'm just saying like a note, like a memo, right? Because sometimes
Right.
you have to figure out the other person's communication style so that they can receive what you're saying. So they actually respect what you're saying. Because if someone's communication style is that they don't want to be looked at, they don't want to be talked to face, that it makes them nervous or whatever, and someone does that, that person goes to their happy place, right? They kind of check out. So you got to figure out what is the best way to communicate with him. And then I would stay the course. I would continue to, in the most positive way, hold on to your stance and be an advocate for change or consistency or whatever it is that you're going for. And that's really all you can do, unfortunately, when it comes to communicating with that person. But I also believe that in life, we have an opportunity, a purpose. And whether you know it or not, you have the ability to be sometimes a voice for the others that work with you. You might be that team member that others will come to because they're frustrated or worried or, confused, and you could be a source of strength for them. So whether you know it or even like it, a new role may have been developed for you within your career, that you are the sounding board now for everybody else.
That's a great point. Yeah.
And I think that's an opportunity for you to become even a stronger leader amongst the team. And if you can just, crack that nut, I'm not saying your boss is a nut, but if you can figure out how to build a relationship with him and whatever that looks like, then I think you'll be the big winner. So I would just try that and see how that goes for you.
Well, I appreciate it. Yeah, that sounds like a great idea.
Awesome. Well, we'll be thinking of you, but I know you don't even need our well wishes because you're great as you are. But I'm honest. I mean, I think you got some good purpose ahead of you there within your career. You just tapped into a new avenue for you. Okay?
I will try that. I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
You got it. Thank you so much for calling in.
Oh, no problem. Have a good one.
Thank you. And I love that he asked that question because sometimes we have to believe that things will work out, but sometimes we have to get a little creative with how we're going to go about doing that. So I look forward to having him call in one day and give us an update. Now I'm giving another call from our producer here who's waiting on the line. We'll say hello to them. Hi, welcome to the Living Full Out Show.
Hello.
Hi, thank you for calling in. How can we help you?
Yes, I'm a college student, and my schedule is really full, and I have an internship too, but I don't get paid,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't have FAFSA, and I'm planning to get a job, but the only free time I have is only night shift. I don't know if I should work on the night shift or just wait until later. And also, in addition to that, I want to go study abroad.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if I should start working or postpone everything until later on, until I have more free time.
You know what? I feel for you because I know that you just want to be successful at your career endeavors, and I applaud that. And I think right now there sounds like there's just a lot going on in your mind. Should I do this? Should I do that? And I think you have to look at what is the most immediate need. Okay? So if the most immediate need is financial and you need to get a job, then that's where you need to go. Now, if it isn't financial and perhaps your parents are helping you or you have some avenue to pay for schooling and other things and then, get a job later, then maybe the bigger need is building your resume, and maybe studying abroad would strengthen your resume. So you have to figure out where's the pull, where's the biggest need, the biggest desire, and let that be the front runner. So what would you say?
Financially, my job.
You mean the financial, making money?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So now that you know that, you got to put the other things aside. Don't cross them off your list. They can still be done. And you might kind of put together a plan as to when you might try to do that, maybe a year from now or something like that. But focus on the financial. So now you got to look at your current schedule. You might need to cut back hours at your internship, or you might need to try to see if you can lessen that commitment just a little bit and then get in some hours so you can work. And you know what? I've done the graveyard shift thing once or twice in my life, and it is not fun. But I'll tell you what, even if you work graveyard, when you get a check and you're making money, there's a certain level of pride there, and knowing that, you're able to pay for your bills. So I say just go for it, but let that be your lead. Okay?
Okay.
Thank you so much for calling in, and I will wish you all the best, okay? You'll do great. So
Thank you very much.
you're welcome. And so I love that everybody's calling in with, what is it that they need to get out of their mind so they can be productive, so they can be happy and live full out. And so I want everybody to stay with us. Our inspirational guest, Tom Martin's going to be coming up, telling us about his bout with cancer 3 times. Honestly, he's amazing. You don't want to miss it. And again, we're talking about believing in yourself, believing that you can do it. That's what Living Full Out is all about. So stay with us. I'm Nancy Solari. This is the Living Full Out Show. We'll be right back.
You're listening to Living Full Out with Nancy Solari. With Nancy's expertise, you'll learn how to embrace your potential and strive for success. If you have a question or need further support, send us an email at connect@livingfullout.com. Now, here's Nancy.
Welcome back to the Living Full Out Show. I'm Nancy Solari, and today we're talking about believing in ourselves, believing in what we can do, what's possible. And a lot of times we come out of the gate early on in our life and we think we could take on the world. We think nothing's impossible. But then life happens, and it happens, and it happens. And sometimes it continues to happen. And what I'm trying to say there is our inspirational guest today, Tom Martin, dealt with cancer. Not once, not twice, but 3 times. Life kept on happening, but he kept on believing. And that's why he's our guest today, because I think he will illustrate for all of us how we don't want to give up. We don't want to cave in to cancer or any block or limitation in our life, but look forward. Keep our vision strong. Keep it vibrant. So I'd like to welcome Tom to the show. Hello, welcome.
Hey, Nancy, it's great to join you today.
Well, absolutely. And honestly, Tom, you are just a gift, really, because I know that cancer, that scary word has creeped into your life multiple times, but yet you've stared back at it and said, no, 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 you're not taking me. And that vigor, that fire that you had, that actually started at a young age. So just so you know, everybody here, he was driven in his college years. He wanted to be in the car industry, and he did that. He even took a stab at an entrepreneurial endeavor, and he did that. But then you finally found your home working for a company when you're around 43 and really feeling like, I have an opportunity to really make a difference here. And everything was just kind of clicking. But then life happened. Can you share with us when cancer entered your life?
Yeah, it was right Christmas of 2009. And, you're in the midst of the busyness and in the auto industry. That's a very busy time as well, year end and everything else. And, there was this spot that was noticed, and the doctor, just thought, hey, biopsy, no big deal. And then the phone call came. And, it's almost like you could hear a pin drop, that cliche. Well, when you hear you have cancer, it's like hearing that pin drop. Everything stops. Your world just transitions into this new normal of, oh my gosh, this will transform my life into another element I never thought I would ever have to deal with.
And what was your cancer called, Tom?
It's a very rare form of skin cancer called Merkel cell cancer. And very few people have heard about it. It's far more fatal than even melanoma is, which is more common terms. And only 1,500 cases or so a year in the world. And it wasn't a part of my demographic even. And so the oncologist was, saying, we don't know why. You don't fit the profile, but yet this is it, and we got to figure something out.
Now, did you get nervous? Did you kind of go into panic mode? Or, what was your mindset in just dealing with it?
Well, it's different degrees. First of all, when someone says you need to see an oncologist, the gravity kind of goes up. And then when he starts talking about surgery and radiation, it gets a little more concerning. But I think you eventually get to the mode of, okay, we've got a plan. We're going to trust the plan that it's going to work, and you hope for the best, and you feel it's going to be a one and done situation. That was my approach.
Mm-hmm.
There was never doubt. It was a matter of, okay, I'm going to trust the doctor and his treatment plan. I'm going to be asking people to pray through this for me, but I'm going to pursue this like I'm going to beat this.
And I love that mindset. I mean, we're talking about believing today. So you had to trust your doctors. You had to believe that, as this cancer came into your body, it was going to leave your body. And it did. Until 6 months later. Tell us about what happened 6 months later.
Yeah, the, just routine tests. I'm starting to feel good again. The surgery recovery's over, radiation's done. And a routine check spotted something in my lymph nodes. And, so what was normal suddenly is not normal. And, here we go again. And it's not a matter of you have cancer, but you have a reoccurrence of the cancer. And so, again, the gravity has gone up. The staging has gotten worse. And they're talking about a more radical course of treatment, much more different type of radiation to a far greater area of my body. So, it's definitely a lot more serious.
And the first cancer, when that spot appeared, where was that located on your body?
It was on the top of my left hand. It almost looked like a knuckle and an extra knuckle, and the dermatologist who caught it, thankfully, she was up on the latest research and attended a conference on this, and this was a component of the conference. And but she thought it was a cyst, and which is why I tell everybody you need to be on a first name basis with your dermatologist in this day and age. But thankfully, because of her training and her education, we caught it early enough, but unfortunately with the rarity of it and the way it spread so aggressively, we weren't sure it was just contained to the hand, and 6 months later, here it is, metastatic disease.
And 6 months later, was it still on the left side, but like under the armpit?
Correct.
Okay.
Yes, Nancy.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. And you are such a vibrant spirit, like I said earlier, and you weren't going to let cancer win, and you were doing everything the doctor said, and for the most part, you thought it was another one and done, right?
Yeah, exactly. The surgery is a lot more radical in that, it's part of your chest area, you're under your arm where all the lymph nodes are. It impacts the whole lymphatic system. But still, okay, we've got a plan. I've got plenty of people praying for me. We're just going to trust the medical treatment. We're going to trust God that, he has a plan and a purpose. But I was working through this whole time. I was, I had a radiation clinic. I chose near the dealership to minimize, putting the store through any sort of, undue stress, and, because you really choose how you want to fight cancer.
Well, you had a good balance going on between the commitments in your life and dealing with the cancer at the same time. Now, I want you to stay with us, Tom, because we do have to go to a commercial break. But before we go into round 3 of cancer, I want to come back to this moment, okay? Because I think it's really important where your mindset was at. So stay with us. And so everybody, when we come back, we're going to be continuing our conversation about the need to believe, never give up, always trust yourself, your instincts, your decisions. So this is the Living Full Out Show. I'm Nancy Solari. Stay with us. We'll be right back after this break.
You're listening to Living Full Out with Nancy Solari. As a life coach, Nancy can teach you how to stay strong under pressure and work through challenges you face. Being legally blind, Nancy inspires others to be resilient in overcoming obstacles and live full out. You can ask Nancy for advice in your life on relationships, finance, business, health, and more. Just call in at 800-333-0001. Once again, that's 800-333-0001. Now, here's Nancy.
Welcome back to the Living Full Out Show. I'm Nancy Solari, and today we're talking about believing and the importance of that as we go through struggles and kind of unexpected surprises in life. We need to believe. We need to know and trust ourselves to make decisions and just really believe that everything's going to work out. And our inspirational guest today, Tom Martin, is no stranger to needing to believe, because having cancer 3 times, he had to trust, he had to believe, he had to be focused that the cancer would leave his body and that he'd ultimately be healthy and cancer-free. So I'd like to welcome Tom back to the show.
Hey, Nancy.
Hi there. So I first of all want to tell you that I admire you so much, and it's not just because you've had cancer, but I really admire your mindset. You kind of digested the news, and you were methodical about thinking about what you need to do and how to do it, and you trusted your doctors, and then you jumped. You just leaped. You weren't paralyzed and in fear, but you were productive and proactive in handling it, and I give you a lot of respect for that. And it's interesting because for all that cancer did in terms of being scary and giving you anxiety and stress, it also brought love into your life, which is kind of a happy twist to the story. Can you share with us about that?
Yeah, it sure was. When I was going through it the second time, I had met someone at church, and we were kind of in the same study group and whatnot. And so she had asked me as I was going through treatment, the last radiation treatment, she said, "How are you going to celebrate?" And I really never thought about it. I guess I'll just go back to work. And she said, "Well, we ought to get together and celebrate this." And the reason she knew it was an important milestone is she herself was a breast cancer survivor from years ago. And so, we were becoming friends and soon dating after that. And we just had something special developing in our relationship. And as oddly enough as it is, cancer was one of the reasons she reached out to, just to check in and make sure, I was navigating it and flourishing in the process. So my wife, who is now my wife, Sherry, she was a real big catalyst of helping me just maintain a positive attitude and really, just leading a good life in the midst of all the messiness that treatment can bring on.
Well, and thank goodness for Sherry, because here you were in love, you were cancer-free, and then Sherry found another spot. Can you share with us about that?
Weird situations where she noticed something on my upper, again, left side forearm, or upper arm. And I had an appointment anyway with the doctor, and she said, "You've been having some knee issues. Have them look at the knee and have them look at the arm." And sure enough, I thought it was an old football injury. So he x-rayed the knee, cut out the thing in the arm, but immediately he noticed lesions on that leg and x-rayed that. And as, again, the propensity of Merkel cell cancer, it'll pop up in a lot of places. And so suddenly I got the news on All Days Valentine's Day that the cancer was back. It had spread to my legs, my right arm, my pancreas, sacrum, and we were now dealing with a stage 4 diagnosis and a very grave prognosis.
Tom, there's moments in life when we have a gulp, we have that tightness in our throat where we thought we had got it handled, we thought we were in control, and then all of a sudden this happens. I mean, I can't even imagine what was going through your mind at that moment.
it was surreal. It was on multiple levels. You first think about, here I am with the love of my life, and we kind of had a plan for getting married later that year, but who would want to tie their future and her two sons' future to this diagnosis and that prognosis? I'm thinking about the rest of my family and my nieces. I'm thinking about work and this store that I've helped create and build, and the people who are counting on me there. And it's just one of those moments where, again, you got to, I think, allow the moment to carry over you. But then it comes time, to make a decision. What are you going to do about this?
Well, and again, this is where I enjoy your part of the story, because you're such a fighter. You were like, game on. With the time I have left, if there is time, and however this goes, I'm going to enjoy it. And you made some radical decisions. What did you do?
Yeah, first of all, it was through Sherry and her decision and her faith and my faith that we're going to just trust God in the process of this and move forward with our plans. But rather than get married later that year, we both decided that it was time to get married then. So 21 days between diagnosis, we were married March 19th, 2011. And literally went away for the weekend as a honeymoon and came back and started chemo. And we were going to live, to use, your term, living life full on, based upon just our desire to beat the cancer and to live each day to the fullest. So we can just experience life however many days, because no one's guaranteed any day. So let's at least, live life to the best of our ability, and hopefully, get to experience healing, as she had experienced in her own life from, a serious breast cancer scare, and just go forth and just live our lives.
And what was the plan? Because now it's all over your body. What was the plan of attack?
And the doctor had a treatment plan. We consulted. There's a specialist in Seattle, and we had consulted with them, and we, kind of had a collaborative approach there. And so it was initially about 8 cycles of chemo, radiation all over, transforming my work schedule a little bit to allow for all of that. I always tell people, and I love that I have the opportunity to work and talk with some people who are fighting cancer. I said, there will be a new normal. You need to respect the treatment. You don't have to respect the disease. You can despise the disease, but respect the treatment and what it will do to your body. And then just to the degree you can, just live your life. And so I've been able to do that. And so for me, as I navigated the cancer and I had some time after chemo, it really caused me to question, my life and where I was investing my time and my energy. The auto industry is a very demanding business. It's a very good business from a financial standpoint, but it extracts a toll on, your free time, the time I could spend with Sherry and the boys. And so I had to make some decisions. Did I want to invest in building this business, or did I want to invest in the relationships that now truly mattered to me? And so it caused me to rethink some things. And eventually I chose to exit the auto industry and to be involved with helping small business owners grow and build their business, but also teaching them how and equipping them to thrive outside of their business.
Well, and I love that. And the thing is you've actually been cancer free now for how many years?
Since my last chemo treatment was August 2011, and so we attribute that as being, the day of healing, my last treatment. And as I said, it was the result of a great medical team and a whole lot of prayers by a lot of people who were, involved in my treatment, not only from a medical standpoint, but from a supportive, prayerful component of the whole process.
And for somebody who is earlier on in their journey, maybe they don't know if they have cancer and they're scared to find out, or maybe they just found out. What is the biggest word of advice that you have to give them?
If something isn't right, you typically know that. And there is a fear of knowing, but you can't be held captive by that fear. You need to step out there, seek the counsel, talk to a friend first, talk to somebody you trust, and get the wise counsel of someone who might have been down that journey and can walk with you. I guarantee you should be able to find someone in your circle of influence who will invest in you and want to see you find the freedom of knowledge and then the freedom of whatever lies ahead. And it's just a matter of just taking that first step of courage and just don't do it alone. Don't isolate. Step out and find the freedom.
And I love that and believe, because honestly, cancer does not have to be a life sentence. I mean, you stared it down 3 times, and here you are today, cancer free. And I'm so proud of you for your determination and your fiery spirit. But most of all, what I give you a lot of credit for, Tom, is that you figured it out. Life is meant to be lived. It's kind of the quest to figure out the meaning of life, and you did it. And you're such a great example of what it means to live full out. So thank you so much for being on our show today.
Oh, thank you. It's been a privilege and an honor. And thank you for what you do for all these people out here who come in contact with all the resources you create. It's just truly a gift.
Oh, thank you so much, Tom. Have a great day. Thank you. And I want to thank everybody listening today, because honestly, don't give up. Always keep believing. And so that's what we're focusing on today. So where in your life can we help strengthen your belief, knowing that you can get around that bend, over the hill, and really live a life of freedom and be happy? That's what it's all about. So we're going to be coming right back after this break, taking your calls. So I encourage you to let us know what's on your heart. This is the Living Full Out Show. I'm Nancy Solari. We'll be back.
You're listening to Living Full Out with Nancy Solari. Nancy is here as a guide to show you how to rise above obstacles and savor each moment. If you have a question, call in live at 800-333-0001. That's 800-333-0001. And now, here's Nancy.
All right, here we are. It's all about believing today on the Living Full Out Show. I'm Nancy Solari, and having, RP, not seeing so well, going blinder by the day, I have to have a lot of belief in knowing that every step I take, that I'm not just going to fall on my face, that I'm not going to get hit by a car, that I'm going to trust that when I get to places that people will help me. They'll be my eyes. Sometimes you have to believe that, it is going to work out. It is going to be okay. And if you allow the burdens, the anxieties, the stresses to take away that belief, you're kind of cutting yourself down. You're shortening your potential. So as we round out today's show, I really want you to think about, where in your life are you struggling? Where is your belief low? Where do you need more empowerment? And I encourage you so much to email us, to call us, to reach out to a friend, because you are worth it. And anything is possible. Even something like a diagnosis of cancer, like Tom Martin, our inspirational guest, had, or when you're dealing with a relationship that may seem hopeless. It doesn't have to be. You have to believe. And I also couple that with the idea that you need to be strategic. It's really important that you can believe and you can desire and you can want, but you want to put that belief into action. And how you do that is you consider, okay, where am I strong? Where do I feel like I'm confident? But where am I not? Where do I need somebody to tell me what to do, give me advice, maybe call me every day and give me a little bit of encouragement? If you don't tell people that you need that call, they're not going to know. So you got to be more open with people and vulnerable. Now, I'm getting word from our producer that we do have a caller on the line. We're going to go ahead and say hello to them. Hi, welcome to the Living Full Out Show.
Hi.
Hi, thank you for calling in. How can we help you today?
I have a question.
Uh-huh.
So I like to think that I'm pretty good at saying goodbye to relationships that don't make me happy. But recently I've been it's been very hard for me to say goodbye to this one friend. And I've known her for 2 years, and she basically treated me like I was disposable, and although she apologized, I still can't hang out with her without feeling really angry and bitter.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just wondering, like, because I find it so difficult to forgive this person, am I getting in the way of myself? And should I, how do I get, like, rid myself of this person, basically?
You know, I love that you asked this question, and I can hear the pain in there, you know, the sadness. Here's what I want you to look at, okay? I want you to look at your life like a book, okay? You're the author and you're the main character. Now, in your book, some people are going to be in every chapter of your book. That may be the closest friends you've had since childhood or family. But some people are only going to be in our book in certain chapters. They might be in only one chapter, 2 chapters. And so don't look at it like a goodbye, like a with a period after it. You want to wish that relationship well. You want her to succeed and find love and be happy, but at the same time, you want that too. And so now you're turning a page. You're turning into a new chapter. And the longer you stay festering about this relationship, it's going to keep you in that toxic place emotionally and mentally, that you're not going to be open to receive those new friendships, those new relationships. Do you see that?
I do.
So don't make it like a goodbye, a sad goodbye. Wish her well. And I've had friends like this too. Wish them well. Say, I loved you being in my life during the time that you were. But now I got to turn the page. I got to write a new chapter. And there's going to be new friends in that chapter. And you only want to run with the friends that are going to hold you up, lift you up, be an advocate for you, be a cheerleader for you, right? If somebody stops being that and it becomes toxic, turn the page. New chapter. Do you see that?
I do.
And when you think about it like that, it's not like she's died, you know, she's still out there in the world. Just wish her well. Wish her love, wish her success. But it's time to turn the page and go on to your next chapter. Okay?
Okay, thank you so much.
You got it. Thank you for calling in.
Thank you.
And I love that she called in about that, because it's all about, you know, believing in ourselves enough to turn that page, to write that next chapter, to let go, and know when to let go. I admire that in her. And I think that we all have that ability to believe. We all have that ability to leap forward into the unknown, but sometimes the unknown is exciting. So unleash yourself, put yourself out there. I want to thank everybody for listening to today's show. Our entire Living Full Out family is dedicated to you each week. We have Roger and Rich and Riley and Bailey and everybody who puts the show on. And check us out next week. We look forward to seeing you. And most of all, here's to you living full out. I believe in you. I'm Nancy Solari. This is the Living Full Out Show. See you soon.
Thank you for listening to the Living Full Out Show with Nancy Solari. To learn more about this program, visit livingfullout.com for the latest episodes. Connect with the Living Full Out community by following us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and subscribing to our YouTube channel. If you have an inspirational story you want to share, email us at connect@livingfullout.com. Here's to you, living full out.
Thank you for watching the Living Full Out YouTube channel. If you enjoyed this video, please make sure to hit the like button. And if you're interested in the content we provide, feel free to hit the subscribe button. Now, for more inspirational content, click the video on the right to get to know me, Nancy Solari, host of the Living Full Out Show and certified life coach, in more detail. Click the video on the left and you'll be motivated by the Living Full Out radio show and our inspirational guests and callers. Keep in mind, we welcome your comments. If you're empowered, let us know. Feel free to leave a comment. We would enjoy hearing from you. And here's to you, living your life full out.